It's my pleasure to be at the table of mobile rolling. I've been barred from saying welcome to, so hello to everybody out there. We have a very special guest today. A lot of people would know him, a lot of people have bought his merchandise, but at the end of the day, he's someone that has a very, very interesting career. Welcome back to Mobile Rolling, and it's my pleasure to introduce Wally. And everybody knows Wally.
Hey, Gary.
How are you? Nice to see you, Wally.
Yeah, good. Pleasure.
Tell everyone your full name, because I'm sure they wouldn't just know you as Wally.
Yeah, the full name is Walter Bulyga. No middle name. In Russian, you don't have a middle name. You have the name of your father. It's called the patronymic. So my full name in Russian would be Walter Nikolaevich Bulyga.
So you obviously of Russian descent.
Yeah, both my parents are Russians. They met in a labour camp in Germany during World War II as prisoners of war.
Okay, and then what got them to?
Well, they were displaced. Yeah, so they were displaced persons. Mum came over first, pregnant with my brother. She landed. Dad joined her sometime afterwards, and then they were living in Bennelong in a hotel in northern New South Wales. So one of the deals of landing then was that you had to work for the government. So Dad laid railway line in western New South Wales for a couple of years. And then my godmother, who lives here, said, come to Adelaide, they're looking for people to work at General Motors. So he joined General Motors at Woodville. He'd been trained as a diesel mechanic in Germany, making diesel engines for submarines. So it wouldn't have been a good idea to go back to Russia with that sort of history.
No.
So he came out here and ended up with a gold watch from General Motors, like just about, everyone at Woodville, basically, Mum and Dad, worked at General Motors.
So how many years was he at General Motors?
Well, the gold watch I think was 25, and he probably did another 10 after that. So from about probably 59 to 1988, something like that.
No gold watches anymore, Wally?
Well, that's a funny
Not
story.
At General Motors.
It was a beautiful gold watch. It was a French one. And my accountant said, oh, my dad got one too. And then, of course, Detroit got a whistle of how much they were costing. And so they went from these expensive French ones to Citizens, and now probably nothing anymore, I imagine. Yeah,
so
handshake.
Just digressing, what nationality was your accountant? Because I'm seeing United Nations here. We got Russia, French, Germany,
no, he's an Aussie.
Australian. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
He's an Aussie.
All right. So obviously you were born in Adelaide.
Yes, at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, just down the road.
Down the road here, because we're down here at Woodville at the moment. So.
And I'm now living at Woodville, so I haven't gone far.
So you live not far from the hospital near the railway line?
Yes, that's
correct.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so just give us a little bit about when you were younger, what you did. So you had at least one brother, didn't you?
Yeah. So went to Findon Primary, then Findon High School, then went to Adelaide University to study dentistry for a couple of years. And a guy I met on my first day was friends with Danny Atkins, part of the Atkins empire, photographic empire.
WWII.
Yeah, old WG. He was good.
So when you say you studied as a dentist,
studied dentistry.
Dentistry.
Yeah.
Did you use that, or was that just sort
of? No. I did a couple of years of that. I
had nothing to do. Thought I'll study dentistry for a couple of years.
Yes. If you come from a European family, you can only do medicine, dentistry, or law. And if you don't do that, you're a failure, basically. It's like the Chinese almost.
Isn't photography the fourth one you can do in that, I believe?
Yeah, not back then. And
so you studied dentistry for 2 years, right?
That's right.
So you finished, so you did that, then what happened?
I got a job during the holidays at an iron ore camp in western New South Wales, an island off the coast called Coolan Island, mining iron ore. And so I got a
Not doing dentistry, obviously.
No. Actually,
you've got us confused, but we'll keep going. We'll run with it.
In fact, I was part of the explosives gang. So I spent 2 months loading up mine explosives.
It's one way to get rid of your teeth in it.
It was great fun. It was an amazing place.
Where to?
And ended up a holiday resort run by Alan Bond for a while, and now it's been opened up as a mine again. So there, I've got a real good taste for engineering. So I did 3 years of engineering. The reason I left dentistry was I applied for a scholarship for my second year and got it. And of course, the first thing I did was buy a motorcycle. And then the second thing that happens when you buy a motorcycle is you crash it behind the university, and that took out a couple of months. So by the time I came back, I just had such a gap missing. I thought there was not much future here. So then
you had a gap. So what did you do?
Well,
get an implant or dentist?
Enough of the dental jokes.
Oh, sorry. So anyway, so you did the engineering there.
Yeah, three.
Let me guess, you did a couple of years of that, and you said, let's do photography.
Well, I was doing photography all the time because we're at the races on the weekends.
So what got you into, like, there's not a lot of people that can say, well, I do photography at the thoroughbreds, the greyhounds, or the trots and posters. So what got you into? I know you said you're with the Atkins family, but did you have any interest in the arts at all? Or?
Oh yeah. I mean, one of the few things Dad brought over from Germany was a Voigtlander camera, one of those drop the lens.
I got one.
And they also brought over a lot of photographs going back to about 1885 of the family. So I always had an interest in photography from that. My uncle was a photographer. Like every time we went to a big dinner banquet at their house, he would always bring out the camera and flash bulbs. And he even used to have a 16mm movie camera. Instead, before the TV, the kids he'd show movies to the kids. So we had Buster Keaton movies, Charlie Chaplin.
So you had
it was sort of coming at me from all directions.
We skipped a little bit. So you were going to school, done some study, crashed your bike, worked somewhere else, done some study. Then, in this time, obviously you're still single because no one would allow you to do that if you were married.
Yeah, it was pretty tough.
Right. So when did we obviously eventually got married? Because I know you have got.
Well, that was about I think Kath and I have been together about 32 years, and she used to work and she used to work at the Greyhound Club.
Okay. Starting to get the pieces.
Well, there's nowhere else you can go. I mean, I was at one stage, and I think this was over. I think it was about 17 years. I was doing 10 meetings a week.
What? Where?
So, right, Monday afternoon, Globe Derby, Monday night at the Dogs, Tuesday...
Dogs, I reckon.
Yeah.
Gawler Trots.
Yeah, right, then Wednesday races, Dogs at night, Thursday Angle Park, Friday Port Pirie or Port Augusta, Trots, Saturday Globe Derby, and then Sunday we started having Murray Bridge Trots. Yeah. So that was my 7 days, and that just went on and on and on. And I did that for years. So it's a bit rough in the relationship.
How many years did you do the Dogs? When did you start them, and when did you finish them?
Oh, that was the first place I started. I wasn't even 18. I was still at uni, so I was 17. So I was working, selling, because we were so busy then. I was in the van selling photos, and we had another guy called Peter Geschme who was taking the photos. And then I just started taking on more and more meetings. And I mean, I did everything. I did 16mm movie film for the stewards before video. I used to I worked up the tower doing the photo finish.
When they used to actually develop them,
I used to develop 16mm movie film at the track, and we showed the stewards for the head-on as well, and have a look at the...
So it's a bit like a wedding, I suppose. You only get one chance to take the photos. So, did you ever miss a greyhound, like they went too fast, or do you take them straight on so you've at least got something?
Pretty rarely, actually. I had a very good record, had a really good record with the photo finish, whereas we had a guy who could do it for 20 times in a row until it was an actual photo finish, then he'd always froth it.
So a lot of people don't realise that with the because I'm an old bloke, but when I was in Port Pirie doing the trophies and stuff like that, people don't realise that they actually had, like, developing the print. So you would wait for the print to come up, and they would hang them up and dry them and all that.
As soon as the horses went past the line, you'd close the shutter, turn off the lights, and you were completely in the dark. You had to undo the camera, pull out about that much film, and put it in a hot tank so you could develop it in about 15-20 seconds. Then you just used to dip it up and down through that.
I've seen it done, And today
in the dark, you're magic.
I know.
And then actually, sometimes you could call it. You just project it using an enlarger. You could call it, and if it was a bit closer, then you do a print and then drop it down a chute down to the judge below.
In a
little tube.
So, when did you actually finish at the Greyhounds? So when was that?
About 5 years ago. 6 years ago.
So you've been out at Globe Derby for how many years now?
Well, I mean, I started about 50 years ago. Was with Atkins for 20 years. I left them. They took it over. They gave up with the horse flu just after that. And then a man of mine in the video van, Adam, said, "I've got no photographer. Why don't you apply?" So I went back, and that's been since 2008. So that's been another 17 years.
Okay. So in this time, we'll just say we'll work in the last, say, 25 years. You did photography was your main form of income?
For 30 years,
For 30 years?
Yeah, I've done a lot. I worked for Rossdale Homes for 15 odd years, for the glass factory up the road here, Owens, Illinois. It's changed names a dozen times. I I worked for them for about 15 years.
So when you're talking the glass factory, what do you take there?
Oh, well, they...
Obviously glass, but...
they make wine bottles, beer bottles.
okay.
So a lot of corporate stuff.
Yeah, so you're doing the stuff for their
PR,
their flyers and that to give out to potential customers.
When they had visits from the hobnobs from America would come out, we do factory tours. They wanted me to photograph every staff member there, and they were on 2 shifts. I did that. They had the best Christmas shows I've ever seen, so I had to photograph those as well.
Oh, wow.
They knew how to look after people. I mean, honestly, you got a cab charge. It was premium food and drink, cab charge home. And they did it twice because they had 2 12-hour shifts. So we do 2 Christmas parties every year. So it was a really good job. People change, stuff change, and then,
things change.
Yeah. But great customer.
So everyone at Globe Derby would know who you are, or any of the tracks that you're at. But what am I trying to say? Is there anything outside? So if you took the horses away, what would you do? If you do? I mean,
I've done.
do weddings, or you do corporate government functions. What? Yeah. And if you do, how do you get to do those? Do you just see them and tender, or because they know you, or how do you go with anything outside of the harness racing industry?
Everything was really tied to the yellow pages. Once the yellow pages died, the work really dropped off, and commercial work's dropped off. I mean, the new iPhone 17 come out. What they can do is just stunning, and a lot of people that's it. Now that's been knocked out by AI. I mean, the stuff now when you had to photograph a product and then get a team to take it down the beach and get a couple, drinking a can out of it on a towel on the beach. They use AI in 15 seconds. And you get exactly the same. It's indistinguishable now. So that's the complete end of probably 95% of product photography.
But at the end of the day, they can't replicate what you're doing if my horse wins at Globe Derby on Saturday night.
Event photos that happen in real time.
Anything in live time.
That's right.
So anything...
so I'm very lucky now. I know a lot of photographers are retired. Portraits used to be a big thing. I used to do a lot of weddings. I did Sam Hill, or Sam Pascoe as she was then. I did her and Wayne's wedding, and that's the last one I've done, and probably won't do another one. But that's the mainstay now, is live events that can't be reproduced any other way. So I really enjoy it. I really enjoy working at the trots.
So have you ever had any interest? Have you ever raced a greyhound or raced a trotting horse or a
I had the slowest greyhound at Angle Park. Got a couple of friends in that, and they never spoke to me after that. So
former friends.
Former friends. Yeah.
We didn't have any trouble taking a photograph of it because it just sort of
it wasn't real fast past the line. Yeah.
So
sadly, the dog committed suicide. So.
Oh, good overdose.
I jumped out a window.
Oh, good. It was a bit rough. So at the moment, harness racing, did you do the Inter-Dominion, the last one we had here, which was...
Yes, I've done several Inter-Dominions.
So you've probably seen some... I suppose South Australia's changed a bit now, whereas most of the good horses aren't trained here because they don't... It's a bit like, I suppose if you can do the scenario, it's a bit like if you're playing A-grade at Peterborough and your next game's got to be in the AFL, you're really not prepared for that game. And I think our trainers and horsemen here and horsewomen are as good or better than anybody, and that's been proven. But the racing style is sort of stop and start. When you get into the rough and tumble in Menangle or Melton or even in Albion Park or Western Australia, you haven't got that grounding. So a lot of those horses are going to the trainers interstate as babies, which we've got to stop that. But because they haven't got the hard racing, of the time you've been out at Globe Derby, for argument's sake, and like you mentioned Murray Bridge. Sadly, Murray Bridge should still be going. It would be fantastic. They've got the gallops out there now, but our track's gone.
Yeah.
Is there any pacer or whatever that you've seen that when it was it may have been an electric night where there was a whole crowd there, and you go, I've photographed this.
Smoking Up in the Cup was outstanding. Like that, I think it was
that war against
Caribbean Blaster, was it? Came second.
Yeah, and it was,
I mean, that was. I have not seen a time at Globe Derby where virtually the entire crowd stood up and cheered. It was an electric event.
He's coming back! He's fighting back! Oh, look at him! Smoking Up does it! 4 SA Cups! Smoking Up, ladies and gentlemen. Never say die attitude.
And so when you see that sort of battle, when they're really both trying, that was a fantastic, and that will be memorable. That is memorable for sure.
Did you ever see Mary's Older when he won he won on that Saturday night, freezing cold? I think the last race, and won by a trotter.
Yeah, what year was it?
Oh, 70s.
Yeah, well, I would have started here about 74, I reckon. So, but again, back then I wasn't taking photos so much as sitting in the office because there was such a big crowd, and every race was won by a syndicate. You know, it was well, the Boss drove a Rolls Royce. Gives you an idea what it was like back then.
Not happening, yeah. So, with harness racing, you're now on. I believe you're now on the
committee.
The committee at the South Australian Harness Racing Club.
I am. Yes.
And how long you've only just been on? 6 months or something?
Yeah, 6 months since the last election was November.
What
can I really?
No,
say it now.
No, I'm not going to say why, but is that just to give you, with the passion that you got for the fact that, well, okay, it gives you some income, but also everybody knows you, and you know. Did you think you had something to offer coming from outside of a normal horse background?
Oh, absolutely.
To say, look, I think I can go on this committee and maybe bring a perspective on it with everything else I've done in my life that will assist.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of the work I do is commercial, so you visit a lot of businesses and you talk to a lot of business people. I do a lot of work for the public service, Premier's Department, health, child services, all sorts of places. And so you get an idea of how they function and what they do, that's for sure. And I think I did bring a different perspective to it. And it's a really exciting time for the club. I mean, the future, the next 12 months will be, you know, a golden year if it's managed right. Absolutely.
And I agree. And I think it's been, like, I was on the board at one stage and whatever, and it's always had a golden opportunity, but never been able to get to that potential.
Well, I'll tell you.
And you know, Mr. Seymour's come along and done what everybody was going to do for the last 25 years.
Yes.
But I think they're in a position where they had to accept what was happening because otherwise it was closure.
Yeah, that's correct.
You know, it'll be very interesting to see when that's fully commercialised in the back straight there.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And I went to the Balaclava Cup, and you go and you think, what are they doing to get a full crowd on a Wednesday when everyone's working? And it's not like the 80s where you could just tell the boss, you know, I'm going to the races for the day, and you'd actually, no, not a problem. And where, you know, there was a race on Saturday night, there was one person watching. You know, and they had, I spoke to the secretary, actually, I rang her up and had a bit of a chat about how well they did the meeting. They had 5,000 people during the day on a Wednesday.
And the Balaclava Cup is always an iconic race.
Well, they made it an iconic race.
10 years ago, it was even bigger.
Yeah.
You know, they would have, you know, 18 or 20 buses going there.
Oh, there were plenty of buses there. It was really, again, that's the thing, you know, drink driving. I mean, it's been one of the effects of state legislatures had on our gaming is, you know, at Angle Park, first thing I know is smoking. You drop smoking, big punters are heavy smokers, so we lost them. Casino Canyon, we lost them. Sports betting came in. You know, it's all these hits to the game, but there's never been a response to it. We're just saying, oh well. You know.
Well, it's just interesting if you're looking at the POC tax, what the percentages given back in Queensland, say, against ours. If we were to get same back in Queensland, I think we're just about 2.5 times what we're getting from the government, et cetera, and all of a sudden we're, you know, that's the cream that, you know, that icens the cake. But, you know, at this stage, unfortunately, the government's, it's just an indirect taxation, and what they take out, they don't give back. So they're just looking to
far happier chopping down trees in the parklands.
Oh, look, and looking after the do-gooders that don't want to work. So let's just set this money. You know, I mean, I can remember when I was a kid that they started up the lotteries to do for hospitals and that. Well,
that was,
if it only went to hospitals, I don't know where they'd be able to pay for anything else that they're doing.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, there was a 50 cent and $1 lottery on a Saturday. That was it. Now it's Keno. It's 7 days a week lottery. You can virtually have a lottery every day of the week. You can play Keno all the time. Again, we basically have been under assault the whole time. You know?
And you mentioned before about sports betting that. I can remember going to watch the NRL Grand Final with one of the harness racing identities in Adelaide here about 4 years ago, and he said, I might, because he was from a rugby background, he played rugby in New Zealand, he said, I might have a bet on the NRL final. He came back, he said, there's 76 bets I can have on this one event, which was just a game of NRL football.
And I'll tell you what, and it's pretty widespread. A mate of mine just said his son, he's probably, I don't even know if he's 18, he said kids at lunchtime, they're just punting.
I think where the one of the issues is you know, I love having a quadrella or whatever. But those days are nearly gone. You still have them, but they want you to win that race and invested within 30 seconds. So they want to keep you rolling it over. They don't want you to wait until the fourth race.
That's right, yeah.
Because that's wasted a whole day of...
Yeah, and it's locked up that money.
They could turn it over,
Yeah. And like you said, all these multiple bets they have on sports betting, it's just incredible. Well, again, what was our response to it? I know people are betting live, so, if something's leading in the back straight, you can have a punt on it, which is, that should certainly be advertised more. If you really want to get a good result, go to the track and you can do this. But yeah.
Well, they're in venue mode, which they have on the TAB apps, which is if you're at the pub, or the pub gets the throughput in there and they give you special bonuses. So, so if you're within 100 metres of a hotel and you've got an app, you can press it in venue mode.
Right.
So you'll get special bonuses and special deals. But that turnover then is allocated to the pub. So, because they're paying for Sky Channel or whatever.
Of course.
So anyway, look, just you've had an interesting life. Do you just completely off? You've done everything. You've photographed. I mean, I've got one of you, one from you from my horse of mine called Robin Crocker, who won first up, unhobbled at Port Pirie, and that was the end of it. So it might have been like the Greyhound, I reckon. It might be the kiss of death. How do you, being on the South Australian Harness Racing Club committee, and sort of having first-hand knowledge of, we are struggling in South Australia, but they're struggling everywhere. Are you excited to be there? Do you like the challenge? Do you think with the support from Kevin Seymour and a new CEO and all that, do you think we're in the right direction?
Absolutely. I think we will finally understand that we are not so much a gaming venue, but we're an entertainment complex. And if we manage that right and spread what we do, spread the attraction, capitalise on the events that we've had, like the Italian Cup. Now,
that hasn't happened
because
that hasn't been managed. That venue has not been managed correctly for.
Well, exactly. Well, there's a new venue manager has been appointed at the club.
Oh, that's good.
So we've now got a CEO and a venue manager we haven't had for a long time. So that's going to make a big difference. The guys.
I mean, with the growth of, I can remember coming down from Port Pirie and all of the houses on the left-hand side was a horse stud. So with all the growth there, you would have thought they were in an ideal position.
Oh, absolutely. If that development that has started and stopped, on top of the old salt works, if that goes into
housing,
15,000, I think,
in the houses,
the numbers they're talking. If that goes into housing, that would even cement more our future as an entertainment centre, not so much a.
As a pacing venue.
And like they do in America, of course, all the trots paid for by casinos. So you basically come in, walk through the casino to get to the track.
And they are,
So, I mean, if that's our future, so be it. And of course, being on the committee, we are entrusted to look after all the participants, their investments, their land, their horses. So we have to look after that. And if that's the way we have to do it, we hope they can accept that. I mean, there's been some radical things. There was a woman who worked for the dogs and brought huge crowds. Bikini shows. She did whatever she could.
Oh, we can't mention those.
I know.
We had trouble.
But what she did do.
I know what you mean. You've got to cater for those that want to go to have a drink, have a meal, have a punt, and have a poke on the poker machines that aren't really interested in the horses.
Yeah.
So if you don't, and you're just going to cater for the minority, because we are no longer front of house. We are just. We're just there to supply product, so we've got to go and add to that.
And a whole young population would not know that Globe Derby exists, don't know anything about harness racing. So now, with where we're going to be in about 12 months' time, if we seize that opportunity, I think we can really revitalise industry. I'm sure we can. I have no doubt we can revitalise industry and build income streams that are not just bikes and tricycles and harness racing, and to keep everyone in the game and keep it going.
All right. Well, look, thank you for a very interesting interview. And I'm sure that once the boys edit a few things and put some of your photographs up of some of your work, whether it be horses or people or events, that'll be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, Gary.
Cheers. Bye.